This is it, the moment of truth. Can 40 horsepower satisfy me? Welcome back everybody, thank you for tuning in again, and today I am 2 hours from my little office. I have come all the way down to Frankfurt. I have come 2 hours in my van for one reason, and that is Mellow Motorcycles. And they are one of the first dealers in Germany to get a Speed 400 on plates, ready to ride. I came down because I am genuinely interested in buying a 40 horsepower bike. Can a grown-ass man enjoy a 40 horsepower bike, or am I just being ridiculous? Am I remembering low-powered bikes with rose-tinted goggles on? Am I remembering it as being fun and exciting when actually it's boring and crap? There's only one way to find out, and that is to take the Speed 400 for a test ride. On today's video, I'm going to take it from here up to the Schottenring. The Schottenring is a classic German Grand Prix circuit. It was right up there with places like Hockenheimring, Lausitzring, Oschersleben, Nurburgring, until eventually during the 50s it fell out of use and never got used again for anything real racing. It's still used today for some hill climbs and for some parade racing, and we can still ride on it today, so we're going to go check that out. But hopefully today we'll know whether a Speed 400 is the right bike for me and the things I want to do with it.
Well, it's small, it's light, it doesn't feel like, you know, like a 125. Suspension's a bit soft, but I'm 100 kilos, so 100 plus. Let's hit the starter button. Ooh, nice thumper. Kind of reminds me of a DRZ 400 or something. Okay, got the old quad lock on because I don't know my way around here. Let's pull away. So the clutch is a cable clutch, quite light, quite nice. Engine feels kind of torquey. Surprisingly torquey, to be honest. Loads of stuff I like about this bike straight away. Things I really like. I know it's got non-adjustable cheap front master cylinder, but front brake feel is quite high quality. Love the bar end mirrors standard, those are awesome. You know what, pulling away at 3000 RPM, it don't feel like a Tiddler. Now I'm starting to feel it. That's what, 50 miles an hour. Gearing seems a bit short. First impressions are, I want to change the sprocket. How far have we come? Less than a kilometre, and I want to change the gearing. This could handle a lot taller gearing. The engine is loads better than I thought, and it's got 29 kilometres on it, by the way. So that's quite a pleasant surprise. Throttle's super light, very reactive. Gonna do a little naughty overtake. Oh, it's a 70k limit already. Man, by the way, that was a roll-on overtake in 6th gear. In 6th gear. Gear 6 of 6. You know what, I've just realised they've given me a bike with 30 kilometres on it and nobody said anything about running it. So they must be pretty confident about this. So it has got braking in instructions, and even more than that, it's got a nanny telling me that it's not been broken in yet. Oh, it's a great sounding bike. Oh, imagine this with a pipe on it, eh? Cut to New Delhi tubing shop, where some guy will have grafted a turbine only on it, or an SC project. Oh, this would be mint with a pipe. This would be a proper naughty town bike. I nearly went for it, and then I saw that Audi rolling a bit quick towards its red light. Rev counter's flashing at me. That's all well over the braking in instructions. I'm sorry, Triumph. Just wait, hold on a second. Did I just accelerate up to like nearly 80 miles an hour on a 400 single without even really trying hard? I'm impressed. Colour me impressed. Let's talk about some facts and figures while we're rolling along here. My opinion is that most modern motorcycles are way too heavy. However, this, I'm happy to report, is a 170 kilo bike, which is probably something in pounds as well. I don't know what, I'll put it on the screen. This is a 170 kilo bike with fuel, ready to ride. And that's a bike with ABS, that's a bike with everything really. The curse of modern bikes is that they end up really, really heavy because of things like catalyzers and ABS controllers and traction control. Make no mistake, this is not a slow motorcycle. You could get yourself into a whole heap of trouble thrashing this thing. Oh, I love it on the overrun. Listen to the overrun. It sounds bigger than it is. I've had a lot of 600 singles in my lifetime. Some of my favourites were things like the XL 600R. If you come off 125s and stuff, those 600 singles feel like a big engine. And I remember the first time I rode a DRZ 400. That's DRZ 400 for my transatlantic friends there. And the first time I rode the DRZ 400, I was surprised because it offered me that 600 single experience with a 400cc engine. And this is giving me little shots of that feeling. Like, whoa, this is pretty good. I am enjoying this. This is not a slow bike. We can do a little bit more filtering here. A couple of cheeky overtakes into a braking zone. The Germans are not quite used to my English style of riding, I'm afraid. But it's okay, I'm educating them, one by one. The UK system of riding through traffic is very similar to California, and is quite similar to Milan, but without all the blood. Look, she's got little Union Jack flags in her Mini. We're going to Schotten, home of the Schottenring, which is not a ring that got shot, or somebody's ring that is shot. Let's try the brakes. We'll wait, and then we'll hit it. Hey. Oh. Whoa, they work, eh? I'm like, oh, where's the brake disc? Oh, it's on the other side, Dale. Brakes by Brembo, or as now it's now we call it ByBre. Owned by Brembo, made by a company that's owned by Brembo, so we'll call it ByBre. ByBre is by Brembo. Well, the brakes are really good actually. Revving it to the flashiness. Sorry, Triumph. It's a bit buzzy, about 8,000. I went for a 7th gear there. That is a sure sign that we need to change that gearing. So Dale, from the start of this ride, I just want to agree with you. You could stand to lose a bit of acceleration, because I think first gear is practically unusable at the moment. It's so short, it's like an off-road gear. Triumph are very clear about the differences between the Scrambler and the Speed, and the Scrambler's got a lot of different parts on it, but I do wonder whether the gearbox ratios are different. I'll have to check that when I get home. 60k limit, 60 miles an hour. We're just going to roll it on in 60. Look at this. Proper medieval. That little hint of vibration as it hits 8,000 RPM, it's like, it's a little tingling. But in comparison to some other bikes that I've ridden, KTM, everything, this is actually remarkably smooth, to say there's a little single piston humming up and down there. Look at this, some naughty overtaking. Whoa, dude. The other phone or what? I can't imagine what this would be like with a sporty pipe on it. I think it would be amazing. I think it would be genuinely exciting. And if you're watching this and thinking, is this the same guy that, you know, was riding the 200 horsepower ZX-10R on the last video I watched? Yes, it is. Hey, motorcycling's a broad church, man. Motorcycles are cool. I don't care which one. So if you're looking for me to lay into a 40 horsepower bike, you're watching the wrong channel. This is a cool bike, man. We're still faster than the flow of traffic by some margin, and it's a cold winter's day with slime and salt on the floor. So it's, by by any objective measure, this bike is fast enough. Subjectively, yeah, it'd be nice to have a bit more torque. Gonna get past before that solid white there. Well, almost. Suspension feels surprisingly good. I'm impressed. Okie dokie, we are going lefty. Love the noises. It's a great sounding engine. It's got a lot of poke. Once she's spinning over 5,000 and you just open it up that bit, it really does move. I'll back it off a bit because it is a bit flashy. Now, can you believe this actually does have traction control? I don't know exactly if I'm ever going to trigger it. Oh, that's it. 9.7 kilometers and we'll be in the middle of Schotten. If there's an Edeka, there's a bakery. And if there's a bakery, there's some lunch. Bakery! There we go. 50 kilometers. My friend Jens is going to show us around the old Schottenring next. So we are now leaving the town of Schotten and we're going to go for one lap of the Schottenring. Think Nurburgring, think Hockenheimring, think Ring, think Schottenring. But the Schottenring has been deserted for many, many years and is in fact now mostly 90% public roads. So we're going to go for a lap of the old Schottenring. It still is a racetrack just once a year where it's run as a parade racetrack. And they do something that Germans call regularity tests, which is kind of like racing. It looks like racing, but it's absolutely not racing if your insurance company asks. And this is the old racetrack that we're on now. It's hard to believe. But there are some twisty bits up ahead. The surface is not great, is it? But the Triumph's handling it okay. Some lumps and bumps. Jens has also promised to show me a bit of the original track that runs through the forest. And it's used as a paddock or pit lane. Oh, it's colder up here. There's a motorsports theme to this place. Look at this. Dunlop Racing Slick. So that's outside somebody's house. Tyre wise, I've got these Pirelli Diablo Rosso 3s, which are pretty good. Third gear, give it the torque. They are letting it spin. Oh, that's pretty cool, man. I have no idea if traction control will be engaged. I'll give it some beans. Oh, I know where we are. We're at the very top of the track now. So there's like a shortcut through the forest and Jens is going to show us that now. And this is like the old original racetrack. This is like being on the Suchleifer when you're at the Nurburgring. Look at that. Now it's just a forest path. One lap of the Schottenring. One lap of the Schottenring. Okay, back down the other way. I am overall very impressed with the bike and I'm quite impressed with the suspension. Flat out, we're going for 100 miles an hour. Oh, what a view! What a beautiful view! Look at that. Brakes feel fantastic. I mean, genuinely very good brakes. If it was my bike, I think I would have placed the master cylinder. And that's not because of a performance concern, it's just because that one looks nasty. And span adjustable lever, stamped. Straight away please, span adjustable lever is required. Don't really know where we're going, but this is a nice bit of road. Yes. Looks like a super long lefty now. Oh, I remember this bit from the map. It's the left that just goes on and on and on forever. Very cool. I could do some better road positioning than that, Dale. Come on. Position it to the outside. Not too close to those wet leaves though. It's hard to tell which bits are dry and which bits are wet. The suspension is more than adequate, which is quite surprising. It's fully non-adjustable on the front. There is no part of the front suspension that can be adjusted without like emptying the oil and changing the oil or changing the springs. The rear is adjustable for damping and adjustable for preload. I've not messed with it because it's a brand new bike. If I was having it more than a day, I definitely would ramp up the rear preload and see how that feels. And if I owned the bike, I would definitely be changing fork springs and rear spring. This is a blank canvas for somebody. I think that's the great thing about modern Triumphs, and I think it's something that I really saw at Mellow, is the culture of modifying bikes. Triumph love it, you know. They expect you to modify it. And this is crying out for some mods. So Jens wants me to do one of the most favouriteest biking roads in the region while I'm up here visiting. So we're going to head that way now, towards Geyden. See, I feel like the chassis is so good, but if it wasn't for all the wet patches, it's a really, really, really good bike for a beginner. That's not in doubt. But the surprising thing is that it's a really good bike for somebody who is, let's face it, relatively experienced on motorbikes, and this is quite fun. It's got a certain uniqueness. I love the sound of the engine. It's a great sounding single. I can only imagine what it will be like after it's had 1,000 kilometres, had its first service done. Maybe imagine this with a nice pipe on it, an open filter. Some airbox noise, some exhaust noise. Maybe a cheeky remat. Do you think you can get this up to 50 horsepower? I mean, 50 horsepower in a bike this light is not to be sniffed at. This is a very lovely road. What a lovely road. Hard to tell whether it's going to be wet or dry before you get into it. Oh, it's so good. When you're braking and you're approaching the corner and you just feed it those gears and give it a little blip yourself. Now, there's a point. Blipping. There's a point. When I'm looking at this and it's totaled up to now to nearly 5,800, there appears to be some sort of pricing anomaly that's going on between the dealers and the Triumph website. The Triumph website says 53, all the dealers say 58, which looks like there's about €500 in delivery fees, quote unquote delivery fees. I don't quite understand exactly what I'm paying for there, but at 5,800 euros there's not much competition, but there's a little bit as soon as you tip over 6. As soon as you tip over 6, just a few hundred euros more, you're into the realm of the KTM RC390 and the Husqvarna Spartan 401. And the Husqvarna 401 is just as racy as this, if not racier, and benefits from things like lean angle sensitive ABS, has Supermoto ABS mode, race ABS mode, and it has a blipper. That means its gear shifts both up and down can be done on the quick shifter with no clutch. Not to be sniffed at. You got to remember, these little things add up. This is a cool road. I'd like to do this road again in summer. There's a lot of salt and a bit of slime. Look at this, it's wet in the middle. I'm glad I didn't fully commit to that. Well, that was a great little road. We're going to pull over up here now. But good place for a photo.
100 kilometers in, and I think I'm ready to give an answer. Is 40 horsepower enough to satisfy the need for speed and the craving for ultimate performance? Absolutely not. Is 40 horsepower enough to have fun on? Yes, it absolutely is. And if you're a more experienced rider and you're slightly more confident in the corners, you can definitely keep up with big stuff with a 40 horsepower bike. And this hides the 40 horsepower figure very, very well. Feels a little bit stronger than that, I would suggest. But it's a great bike. It's loads of fun. I'm actually still really in the market for it. I think I actually want to try the 660 next. There's the new Daytona. That's a little bit racy, maybe. I mean, it's no 765 and it's certainly no 675 Daytona. But to get back to the point, 40 horsepower is definitely enough to have fun on. 40 horsepower suits this bike so very well because of the fact that it is lightweight, it's fun, it's flickable, it's super, super easy, and the price is right. At that price, 40 horsepower is 20 horsepower too much. At this price, it's a real steal. Great bike. Really good bike.
The quality of the suspension is pretty good. Bad thing, it's not sprung for a 105 kilo dude. As a 105 kilo dude, I feel that that's very sizist of them. The manufacturers could make bikes for me, but then obviously everybody else would complain that it's too stiffly sprung. So I guess I've got to take that one on the chin and say, if I buy one, I'm going to respring it. But if I buy one, I'm not just going to respring it. If I buy one, I really do genuinely want to throw some good suspension on this and see what she does. I'd love to see this knee down around the Nurburgring. Leave me a comment if you think that's a good idea. If you think that's a bad idea, leave me a comment too. Let me know. Should I take a 40 horsepower bike and make it into like some sort of Uber Sports cornering, carbering race bike? You let me know. Oh no, it's nearly time to give it back. This is disappointing. I've ridden this bike all afternoon. Oh, let's go put some fuel in it. Oh, nearly overfilled it. So I've done 6.3 litres to, let's check, using this handy button. 162 kilometers on it.
I really want to buy the bike. Am I going to buy the bike? I don't know. I don't know. Watch this space. Should I buy the bike? You should tell me in the comments below if I should buy it, or whether I'm just an idiot for wanting to believe that I can enjoy a 40 horsepower bike. Because, damn, I did enjoy that 40 horsepower bike. Look at it. It's so cool. It's so cool. Look at it from this angle. Look at the forks, the big double skin stainless steel exhaust, the engine. Tell me that's not a good looking motorcycle. That is a good looking motorcycle. All right, good. If you like this, please subscribe, click notifications, subscribe, ring the bell, all of that stuff. Thanks. See you on the next video.
Ha ha ha.